Hi, everybody. Welcome back to CoronaCon 2020, the Virtual Security Thought Leadership Conference. Chuck Harold, SecurityGuideTV.com. Chuck Andrews, friends of Chuck in Texas. Hello, Mr. Chuck.
Good afternoon. Looking forward to more CoronaCon. Take us in, Chuck.
Well, we're going to talk to Steve Humphreys, the CEO. Always love to speak with CEOs. Identiv.com. Talk about smart tokens, among other things. Steve, I think your business paradigm, as we were talking before the show, has switched a little and become more popular. Tell us what's going on at Identiv and how you're helping contribute to our work at home safety, among other things.
You bet. Appreciate the time, Chuck, especially in these environments. It's great to have an opportunity to reach out to people and talk to them about business and also helping people get through the situation we're all in. So as you said, Identiv is a physical and logical security business. So we secure the physical side of things, everything from courthouses and FBI offices and our borders and such, to logical security. So especially as people are moving to work from home, our token devices are used to help them log on securely because, everyone thinks about the physical threats, but there's also cyber threats like crazy these days. And our systems help them do that. We also have mobile security devices that for government employees in particular can use their CAC and PIV cards so they can stay very securely productive even while they're having to work from home, work remotely. Some of the National Guards are starting to use it as well. So as they deploy, they can still be mobily active. Also for government employees to continue to do an important part of their job, which is signing forms securely. This is virtually the only platform that lets them do that on the go through their own mobile device. So really trying to help people stay productive as they get through all this, and first and foremost, stay safe. That's always been our core, to be the trusted provider and security provider to our customers.
So what would you
Steve,
say?
what are you seeing going on at home?
I'm sorry, Chuck. Go ahead. My fault.
Steve, what do you see going on in Telework right now as it relates to some of the things you're doing with smart tokens? What are you hearing on the streets? We really want to know boots on the ground. What's going on out there?
Yeah, everybody suddenly had to change their paradigm. And so they needed something that was very secure. Like we've got banking and hospital customers, and suddenly they needed to let their people get in remotely, but in a very secure fashion. And without learning a bunch of things. And so, using a token, you just tunnel straight into your VPN and you're up and running. It's not complicated. It's easy to administer. And then the other part is what I showed earlier. The mobility part is real important because everybody's working from their desks. That's great. But in order to not go stir crazy, you've got to be able to also move around and do your work. So we're finding that's a part that people often aren't paying attention to, especially a couple of weeks in, like here in California. We've been in shelter in place for a couple of weeks now. Only having your desktop is the way you can get your work done really gets old. And so having the mobility part of it as well as the desktop part of it is important. And as we go into this month, as we're being told now, people are really going to need both. And so we think that's an important part of keeping people productive and frankly keeping their morale up.
Are you hearing anything on the street, Steve, or maybe direct feedback from clients that cyber attacks are up, cyber scams are up, those sort of things?
Absolutely. You all might have seen that some of the scammers sadly are taking advantage of the situation. They're putting out notes that look like they're from the CDC or something else, or a loved one, an elderly parent, something else who might need help. So the scamming is getting stronger than before. The cyber attacks, of course, because people are having to open their IT infrastructure in order to get access and suddenly have a whole lot more ports open. That's creating vulnerability. And so, of course, bad guys who have no ethics whatsoever are taking advantage of it. Knock on wood, it hasn't happened so much, but physical security, I think, is going to be very important as well as we go longer and longer with our offices and some of our retail establishments not manned. You're starting to see threats coming up there. So So similarly, our video surveillance solutions let our customers, keep track of what's going on there. So, this is actually, our office is in Southern California, so I can see exactly what's going on at any given time. So I think there's going to be more threats coming up, unfortunately, as people take advantage of things like this. But there are good solutions. Our job is to anticipate those threats for our customers and to be out there in front of them. We always want to be the most paranoid person in the room, and that's why you see me showing all these things, because we live and work with this kind of a secure environment all the time.
Steve, at CoronaCon, we're really interested on what's really going out there, in our space. Specifically, let's talk about physical access. Have you heard any conversations going on how we can only allow quote unquote cleared individuals medically in and out of the buildings, or certain designations inside the building? We're hearing some rumblings about that right now.
Yes, exactly. And being able to, administer and change profiles dynamically and remotely is really important. So as you say, some people who can be, cleared or have clearance revoked or something like that is very important. So again, I hate to be showing all this stuff, but this shows real time access control in our locations. In fact, you can see people going in and out of our Singapore factory. And if for a hospital, for example, we have customers in the hospital space, they need to be able to issue and revoke authorizations to people on an ongoing basis. That's one of the reasons that our production facilities are still open as essential operations, because we're issuing identity cards and credentials for the federal government, as I mentioned, but also healthcare, and being able to do it dynamically, do it through a mobile device. That's part of the platform we've been building for years, and now people are really seeing in this particular environment the necessity of having very strong security, but able to do it, remotely, online, offline, and through any device that you have access to, and being able to change things as situations change. I mean, if a office, goes into lockdown and now you need to be sure that no one's coming in, you need to be able to set alerts to say, okay, who's coming in. Like I follow our office in India that just had to go into lockdown and get alerts and, check that it's just the security guard checking through. So being able to adjust dynamically is really important. And I think that's also, it's part of the approach that I think the whole industry needs to take, which is to make security really easy, but actually higher secure while you're making it easy. And our industry sometimes thinks high security has to be hard security. And what we try to do is make, in fact, high security as frictionless as possible. Because if it's not easy to use, people will just defeat it. And then you've got no security. So I think especially in times like this, people are sensitive. It's got to be easy to use, but it's got to be very highly secure.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, that is the ultimate goal, that we don't even know we have security sometimes is even the better way to do it, that it just flows and it's integrated, right? Now, being a CEO, I know you're thinking at 30,000 feet, but I want you to think at 60,000 feet, and let's put on your crystal ball. How do you see this coming out future-wise? I personally think many, many positive things are going to come out of this. Work at home is going to decrease commuting. It's going to make cities less crowded. We're going to have more security awareness. We're going to have more jobs created. I see a lot of good things coming. Any predictions on your part of how this might play out for the security industry?
Yeah, I must say, in aggregate, I see it the same way. I think the next several weeks, even few months, will be very, very hard and a lot of human tragedy. I don't want to take anything away from that. And we've got a lot of employees and customers and dealers who are dealing with some very challenging situations, and they're going to. We will get through it, that's for sure. And I think we'll be in a position to, as you say, really, security will be kind of integrated into what we're doing, more so. Now, security has been kind of the thing in the office and the thing where you work. Now our office follows us everywhere. and security has to follow us where our office and where our work is. And so it's naturally getting more ingrained in everything we do and everywhere we do it. And that's something, the industry and the customers have wanted for a long time. So I think we're going to come out stronger for that. People are going to realize it can just be, a helpful partner in everything I do, not the impediment at the door when I go in my building. And so I think there is going to be a lot of opportunity coming out of the back of it. And there will also, though, to be clear, we have a lot of friends and colleagues in the dealer community, the integrator community, a lot of small businesses. This is extremely hard on those small businesses. Some of them are already going out of business, and so we're going to have to adjust to an environment in which some of the dealer channel has changed its structure, and we're going to have to make it very easy for them to adopt and deploy this easy to use but high secure infrastructure that I'm talking about, because there's going to be a fair bit of disruption, in our most important colleagues, our dealer channel and integrators.
Steve Humphreys, CEO, Identiv.com, IDENTIV, thought leadership at its finest, and thus the name, the CoronaCon 2020 Virtual Security and Thought Leadership Conference. Mr. Steve, great insights, positive information. Yes, it's going to be hard. It's going to be very difficult, and everybody's aware of that. But let's look at the light at the end of the tunnel. I think we're all going to come out of this okay. Thanks for coming on Security Guy TV, my friend. I really appreciate it.
Thanks very much, Chuck. I appreciate it as well.
All right, Mr. Chuck. Well, there's a great example of thought leadership, and boy, very articulate, focused. What a good business plan. What do you think? Nope. Why did we lose Chuck's microphone? Mr. Chuck, we lost your microphone for some reason, my friend.
Did you lose me? Were my lips moving, but you got no sound? Is that correct?
No, I think you were playing asteroids or something in the background, and you turned your mic off. Anyway, good conversation with Mr. Steve.
Yeah, it was a great conversation. Steve, as a CEO, brings that kind of thought leadership that people need to hear. We really appreciate his insights on CoronaCon 2020 as to what is really going on. And that's the whole point of our virtual security conference and thought leadership here today. Steve, big thank you to you. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you both again, and thank you for putting together this great event. I think we all need that kind of insight. Much appreciated.
All right, back in a minute here at CoronaCon 2020 and Security Guy TV. Stand by for more insights into what's going on in real time on the street.